Hey, I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach, live from the Greatness Factory in the great state of Tennessee. Man, it's good to be with you today as we talk about how do you create a sense of urgency. Have you ever been behind a turtle when it's just going so slow down the road and you had somewhere to be and you're sitting there going, wow, do they not have a sense of urgency? When it comes to selling, why don't you have a sense of urgency? When it comes to building a team, why don't you have a sense of urgency? You see, what we got to fight off is the emotional cancer of complacency. Today, I'm going to show you where a sense of urgency comes from, how to infect your team with a sense of urgency, and how to always be on offense versus defense. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and you're watching Super Coach. Hey guys, this is Coach Micheal Burt. I am so glad you joined me for Super Coach. I believe a good coach can change your life. I believe a good coach will have conversations with you don't want to have, make you do some things you don't want to do, help you become something you didn't think you could become. You see, you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. You can't reach your own potential without the help of another person helping you break through those ceilings of success. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and I'm going to find the kryptonite in your life, and I'm going to do it on this show, Super Coach. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. Boy, it's good to see everybody out there today. We had a popping day here at the Greatness Factory. My goodness, what a day. What a day we've had manufacturing greatness. We've been on coaching calls. I got my man Scott Abernathy, Peter O'Neill's in the house in Baltimore. Ivan Velasquez is out there in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a little disconnected a minute ago, but we're back. We're live from the Greatness Factory, and today we're talking how do you create a sense of urgency. I had about 30 real estate agents in here today coaching them with Carrie Ann Sear. She said she's on track to do $130 million of production. That's a big old year right there. That's what I like. And today we're talking on Super Coach. We believe a good coach can change your life. We believe everybody needs a coach in life. And here's one thing I think a good coach can do for you is affirm and validate the worth and potential in you in so clear a way you begin to see it in your own self. And so for some people, they appear to come with batteries included. They wake up on fire. Their mind is constantly thinking. They're constantly in an offensive position versus a defensive posture. They are constantly moving and attacking and attacking the market. They're never sitting still. They're never an object at rest. They're always in motion. But for lots of people out there in the world, there just is no sense of urgency. No sense of movement towards something big. Nothing propelling and thrusting them into the week. And so today I want to tackle why. Where is a sense of urgency? Why do we not have a sense of urgency? Why do we have to fight off the emotional cancer of complacency? And I want you just to remember, I talk about this a lot when I speak, is that there's only three states that a person's in. You're either dynamic and growing. That means you are alive, vibrant, on fire, excited, motivated. That word motivate means to move. You're inspired. That word means to breathe life within or God within. You're inspired. You're either moving up the chain, right? Or you're stagnant. You're plateaued. You're stuck. You're in a rut. You can't enjoy. You don't have a sense of urgency about you. The third state is entropic. Slow disintegration. Dying. And so for you, not finding a sense of urgency in your life, okay? I start thinking about, we're going to get into this. How do you minimize regret through action? Why are you bored? How do you think bigger and take bigger action? But in essence, here's a big question I would ask you as we think about this topic of how to create a sense of urgency in you, in your family, in your teams, in your workplace, in your sales force. I mean, what's holding you back from creating this sense of urgency? And here's a bigger question. What is it costing you? What's it costing you right now by sitting on the sideline? You know, what's it costing you for indecision in your life? What's it costing you for waiting on the timing to be right? What's it costing you from not taking action, right? And so today we're talking how to cultivate a sense of urgency. And I want to bring one big topic up from the beginning, and that's the concept of the emotional tax of complacency. Now, I want you to think about a tax. A tax is something that is typically levied on us by other people. It takes away or steals some of our future. Well, there's something that's taken away or stealing some of your future. It is a tax of complacency. And the word complacent means a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Now, how many of you this morning sent your kids off to school? Right before they left this morning, you say, hey, sweetheart, I want you to go out there and be average, just complacent. Just tell you what, just have a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. See, when you say it out loud, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? Okay, and so what is the cost of the emotional tax of complacency? And when you look at lots of people that are out there in the world, you see people that had, I would call it an innocent climb, but they have gotten to a place of stagnation in their lives. They're stuck. So instead of moving fast, they're moving slow. Instead of being hungry, they've grown comfortable. Instead of wanting more, they're settling for less. They are just out there, and I would tell you a big one that I see, it's a boredom. It's a boredom, and I see people that are bored making $5 million a year. You know why? Success can be boring. You go out, you kick everybody's butt, you do it all over again tomorrow. And so for you got to ask this question, because I hear a lot of people out there. Let me say hi to Shane Ray, who's in our coaching program, Alyssa Markham, Cindy Malone, Ivan, Spencer Rowland. Good to see everybody. James Trice, my mother, Melanie May on here. I see a lot of people that have moved to a defensive posture. Now, let me tell you a little story. In the old days during the war, we could advance so far, and then we had to move into a defensive position, and we had to go into a bunker. Okay, so our troops went into a bunker, and they held position. The enemy advanced so far, and then they went into a bunker, and they just hoped that nothing happened until something was created. And this something that was created moved people from a defensive posture to an offensive mobility. And that something was called the armored tank. Now there's a sense of urgency. Now there's a sense of attack. Now there's a sense of not sitting. We're not plateauing. We are in an offensive, full-out press. That is a sense of urgency, and that's what we're going to get into today. So when we come back in segment number 2, we're going to talk about big think and bigger action. Big think and bigger action, because if your goals don't scare you right now, they're not big enough. They don't keep you up at night, wake you up in the morning, they're not big enough, okay? And because of that, you don't have a sense of urgency to create those. You don't have a sense of action, of movement toward them. Then we're going to get into how do we minimize regret. I think we always minimize regret by doing one thing, taking action. Let me give you some kryptonite to get you out of this first segment, guys. Here's a kryptonite. You haven't found your purpose in life. And because you haven't found your purpose in life, okay, you're moving very slowly from thing to thing that just doesn't matter. Now, I told Ben Wilson this today, a good friend of mine. We were meeting at Starbucks, and I said, Ben, I don't see my work as my work. I see it as my mission. And because it's my mission, I wake up ready to go to tackle my mission. I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life integration. I believe all parts of your life should feed all parts of your life. Well, if you don't have a sense of urgency in your life right now, it's because you ain't found your mission. You're just going to work. It's just a job to you. Therefore, there's no sense of moving toward a dominant focus. You're watching Super Coach. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Every week, multiplying life, money, business. Come on back in segment 2. We're talking how to think big and act bigger. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. How much money are you losing because of poor follow-up? Every sales stat in the world says it takes 7 to 15 great touches 80% of the time to move a prospect to a client. But how you follow up is critical. Over the past 9 years, I've been coaching salespeople all over the world, and I've developed a formula for getting people off the fence to make a buying decision. Challenge the prospects. Create a healthy tension. Get them to take action. Sign up now and take advantage. My new webinar, $1 Million Follow-Up. Hey guys, welcome back to Super Coach. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. I want to say a special hello to Belinda Shows Errender. Hey Belinda, come on over and say hi to me at the Greatness Factory. Hi to Melissa. Michael Jones, good to see you. Everybody that's out there today, I want to say shout out to everybody that's watching me. Thank you so much. Every week I come into your life to multiply your life, your money, and your business. And one thing a good coach will do is a good coach will push you to do things you may not want to do. Hey, let's go. Create a sense of urgency. You're being a turtle, man. You're not being a cheetah. Today we did this class called $1 Million Follow-Up. Next Tuesday, I'm doing a webinar on this. $49, live webinar, 7-touch system. And I even wrote a little book on this, Brandon. 6,000, 7,000 words. I think it's a good little book I'm going to bring out to the market. But if you're in the sales business, why in the world would you not spend $49 to master how to follow up? You know what? I got a sense of urgency, right? I got a sense of urgency, guys. And so for you, I want you to have that sense of urgency. A follow-up is about urgency. We got things to do. We got people to see. We got places to go. We got to create things. We got to make things. Our legacy's at stake here. We got people to impact. I remember when I wrote this book with Rick Insell, the head coach at MTSU. He went to sleep at midnight, and he woke up at 4:17 every morning. And I traveled with him for, say, 3 months to write this book, and he would always say the same thing. He would say, "Get up, man. We got to go." It's like, it's 4:17, man. What do we got to go? We got people to win over. We got games to win. We got boosters to talk to. We got players to convince. And I watched him go around and beat all these great teams like that. He had a sense of urgency. And then I asked him this question one day: where does this sense of urgency come from? And he said something I will never, ever forget. Never forget. He said, maybe, just maybe, I got 20 years of productivity left in my life, and I won't waste one single second of it. Okay? When you think about the Bible, I want you to think about how much James talks about faith without works. It's not enough just to have faith without taking action. I want you to think about in Habakkuk where it says, write your vision down on a tablet. And what does it say? Run toward that vision. It doesn't say walk. Don't say crawl. It does say all things will happen in good time. All things will happen in season. But it says write that vision down on a tablet and run toward it. Here's the problem. If I got no big vision. See, I want you to remember something. When I wrote Small Towns and Big Dreams, and I'm doing a lot of work back now in my small town of Woodbury, Tennessee. Got a big grand opening this Friday, 4 p.m. We got all these characters coming, Teenage Mutant Turtles and Doc McStuffins, who my daughter Ella Grace loves. And here's what when I wrote the book Small Towns and Big Dreams, here's what I said. You were hardwired to take dominion over your area and to be on offense, not defense. So I said in that, maybe first paragraph of the book, every action you take is driven by your thoughts. And your thoughts are no wiser than your actions. So in my opinion, a sense of urgency is created by big thoughts and things to do while you're on planet Earth. You have things that you are supposed to accomplish. There are areas you're supposed to take dominion over. Okay, and you got to wake up every day and write it down on a tablet. That's your little monster producer planner, and you need to run toward it. Don't walk toward it. What are you waiting on? So here's some of the excuses that I hear people say. Well, it'll take too long. It'll cost too much. It'll be too hard. I'm not good enough to do it. I'm not qualified to do it. What are these? Excuses, man. You can't create a sense of urgency, right, Bill Roll? You can't create a sense of urgency when you're going to use all these excuses. I listen to people's language. And here's the deal. If you ain't excited when you wake up in the morning, your vision ain't big enough. Your goals ain't big enough. Your dreams ain't big enough. Write it down on a tablet and don't walk toward it. Don't crawl toward it. Don't stumble toward it. Run toward that vision. When I get in my car in the morning, you better believe I got somewhere to be. I ain't strolling around. I ain't Sunday riding out. There's a time and place for that. But when I'm on mission and I'm on point, guys, I got to get somewhere. There's things to do. There's people to impact. There's places to go. Enzo was right. We only got so much time on planet Earth, man. We got people to impact. And so for you, when it comes to this concept of change, I have found in my life that people will not change unless there's a fear of losing something they value. They'll create a sense of urgency if they fear losing something. If they don't fear losing anything, where there's no consequence, there's no change of behavior. If there's no consequence, there's no change of behavior. So how do I get you to think bigger? How do I get you to expand your horizon? How do I get you? I got to get your exposure to more people. I got to get you somewhere where you can cultivate this vision that you can write down and you can run toward it versus walk toward it, right? Big think and bigger action. Money follows attention, money follows energy, money follows circulation, money follows activity. But if you got nothing you're running toward, you're not going to have a sense of urgency. So for some people out there right now, that may be the biggest problem you got. You don't have a vision of where you're supposed to be going and what you're supposed to be doing. And because of that, what was that last kryptonite? You're just going from thing to thing that don't matter. Let me give some kryptonite to get you out of this segment. Then I'm coming back to talk about minimizing regret. You're lazy by nature with no sense of urgency. You can't go big if little got you. You're lazy by nature with no sense of urgency. You got no vision. You're not writing it down. You're not reaffirming your goals every night. You're not reaffirming them every day. Okay? And so here's the deal. Because of that, you're in a defensive position. Covey used to call this reactive versus proactive. Proactive is where you accept full responsibility for your lot in life. Reactivity is where you are constantly in a defensive state. You use lots of excuses. You project lots of blame. You're just playing from behind all the time. And here's the deal. It's from an old championship coach. Playing not to lose always guarantees losing. How do we minimize regret? Come on back in segment number 3. I'm going to show you how do we minimize regret by taking action. This is how we cultivate a sense of urgency. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt. How do you find the right coach for you? There's personal coaches, there's life coaches, there's business coaches, there's spiritual coaches. Here's the deal. You got to find a coach you have an affinity with. You believe the same things. I believe trained people always outperform untrained people. I believe coach people always outperform uncoached people. You got to find a coach that you think brings the knowledge and the skill and the desire and the confidence to you that will work for you. I would love to be that coach through my new Total Growth Academy. Go to CoachBurt.com, click on virtual coaching, and get coached by me every day on any device, anywhere on planet Earth. Super coach. I almost want to just come out of it right now. I was sitting there playing on the break. I was sitting there giving my own self little hearts. Okay, I was looking for some hearts and fire. All those things Peter O'Neill was saying. Belinda shows Aaron just said if somebody's not laughing at your goals, they ain't big enough. That's right, man. You need goals so big that people go, oh, you'll never be able to do that. That's crazy, man. Play smaller, right? Today we're talking how to cultivate a sense of urgency in your life. And I've tied all this together is why don't we have urgency, number one. What is it costing us? What is inaction in our life costing us? What is the emotional tax of complacency, which is a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity? What is the innocent climb, where we climb up the ladder but we hit a plateau? We get bored. Once we get bored, we lose our sense of urgency because our goals are not big enough. Our dreams are not big enough. They don't scare us. They don't push us. Then I got into in a second segment how big think creates big action. Okay, and what it says in Habakkuk, write down your goals on a tablet and run toward it. What James talks about in the book of James about faith without work, faith without action. What did Cardone say on her show? He was a man of faith, but he was a master of action. I thought that's pretty good. He's a man of faith, but he's a master of action. You got to be a master of action. So why don't people why don't they have a sense of urgency? Get out today and try to get home at 5 o'clock and see this lack of sense of urgency. It's always one person, man. It's always one person at the front of the line just slowing everybody down. And then somebody in the back pushing. Isn't that how life works? Pushing. Let's go. So in the final segment today, I want to talk about minimizing regret by taking action. I think a formula to minimize regret is you got to take action. You take action because you got a sense of urgency. It starts with a personal motivation and a will to really do. And I think what you got to do is you got to dig in and connect to your mission. I just had a coaching session with two of my favorite people, Ashley Holloway and Corrine King, who are both in Monster Producer. And Corrine asked me, how do you stay consistent? And I said, Corrine, I didn't wake up motivated today. I woke up tired because I was in New Jersey till late last night. I had delayed flights. I didn't wake up motivated today. But here's what I told myself. Coach Burt, you are a person of interest. People are counting on you. You do need to show up and deliver the goods. I'm not going to let them turn me into them. My positive energy is going to be greater than any negative energy I face in a day. People are counting on me to show up and deliver. It's a big responsibility, man. So I don't have the luxury of not showing up and delivering the goods today. So it starts, and I said, here's what I do when I get inconsistent. I reconnect to my mission and purpose in life. I remember why I got in this to begin with, which was to impact more people, and that creates a sense of urgency. So how do we minimize regret? We take action. We take action because it's connected to our mission, not just our job, okay? At first, we go for quantity over quality. I hear a lot of people, they say, well, it's got to be perfect. The timing's got to be right. What if I told you the timing is never, ever, ever, ever going to be right to take the kind of action I'm talking about? It's just never going to be right. You have got to create timing. I used to hear that luck favors those who are prepared. It's where preparation and opportunity intersect. Well, let me tell you what. If you're sitting on the sidelines, you got no sense of urgency, you're playing defense all the time, you're being a turtle, guess what you ain't going to have? You ain't going to have any luck, man. You're not going to have any luck following you anywhere. Luck follows people that move and circulate and take action and get in the ball game. That's what luck follows. It never follows sitting and watching. And so for you, it may be time for you. Maybe you got to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. Many times breakdowns create breakthroughs in people. And so for you got to remember energy, action, activity, and circulation. Energy, action, activity, and circulation. And sometimes you got to just put yourself in an environment where you can thrive and be fed these 4 things. Okay, I want to close with just a few thoughts. And if you're out there watching the show, you can download this on iTunes, Supercoach, give me reviews, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Android, Greatness Network. If you've lost a sense of urgency in your life, and there's been times, quite frankly, guys, I've lost mine, lost my mojo, lost my swag. And I like to tell my buddies that you start the world off, every week you start off with motivation, and the world beats it out of you, man. You start off with purpose and passion, right? Tom Love, and we let the world beat it out of us. We're all born geniuses until we get it beat out of us, right? We're all born active and vibrant and moving and exciting and energetic until the world beats it out of us. And then we lose our sense of urgency because complacency creeps in. That gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. If you're in that state today and you're stagnant, is it because you've plateaued in life? Is it because you're not dynamic and growing anymore? Is it because you lost that love and feeling? Is it because you let your moods and feelings get the best of you? Why have you reached a static state? Because remember, dynamic, static, entropic. The minute a plant stops growing, it starts dying, guys. So this sense of urgency is going to come from your mission and your purpose. It's never going to come from a job. Right, Carrie Ann Sear? It's never going to come from just waking up and trying to survive. It's never going to come from being in mechanical or burnout mode. Your sense of urgency is going to come because you have a mission that is so big on planet Earth that you can't not deal with it. I heard Peter Diamando say this once: find something that you would die for and then go live for it. Find something that you would die for and then go live for it. Every week I come into your life. Let me give you some kryptonite. Good coach always finds a kryptonite, don't he? You don't have anywhere important that you got to be. You all dressed up with nowhere to go. And you know why? You ain't getting in the ball game. And because of that, you get caught up in trivial and small, petty grievances. You're moving like a turtle versus moving like a cheetah. You have no sense of urgency because you got no vision and you got no mission. Go back to Habakkuk. What does it say? Write it down on a tablet. And don't walk toward it, don't crawl to it. Run toward that vision with a sense of purpose, passion, and enthusiasm. That word means God within. Get up and go. You got to be inspired and you got to be motivated. To all the people out there that are watching us, Ivan V, Thomas C. Davidson, give a shout out to my boy Tommy Davidson. If you're not going to his party next week, you got to. November 23rd. That's at the Main Street in Murfreesboro. Tom Love, one of my great mentors and friends. We're going to be teaching Mega Monster together. Carrie Ann Sear, what a great event today. Guys, I love, if you want to know how I get my fuel, that's where I get it right there, guys. All the people that give me love and hearts every single day. And sometimes if you don't get it, you got to self-encourage. That word encourage means to pick yourself up You got to stay away from discourager and stay toward encourager. Every week I come into your life, multiplying life, money, and business. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. Sign up for that $1 million follow-up, man. You're going to get your money's worth. I promise you. See you next week, everybody. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, and I get asked all of the time, what does a good coach do? See, a good coach should engage you in a set of systematic behaviors that allows you to do something tomorrow you can't do today. They should find and fill your missing structures. They help you break through that ceiling of success that you can't break through on your own. And that, my friend, is why everybody needs a good coach in life. Check out Coach Micheal Burt's Total Growth Academy at CoachBurt.com.